Okay, hey guys, welcome to another one of Lorenzo's Blood Bowl games. Looks like I'm playing as Underworld again. I keep getting these guys. I'm really enjoying them, and I'm playing as Chaos. Beastman tackle block, good Beastman, +1 agility, strong Beastman, +1 movement allowance, good, and a Minotaur with claw. Okay, that could be problematic. When I've got a Mighty Blow, Claw, Blitzer, Block +1 movement, Underworld with Goblin with foul appearance and none else. I'm just trying foul appearance on the Goblin. At the moment it's not working. It's really frustrating because it's not working. But I might... Oh, he's only got one reroll though, so that's kind of strange. So it looks like he's sort of playing a min-max build almost, a little bit. Or too few rerolls. Depending on how his luck goes, that one reroll could really put him at a bit of a disadvantage. But we'll see how this goes. I have to admit to something to start with. I've been telling you guys in regard to goblins that when a goblin dodges out of a tackle zone, he actually adds +1 to the dodge when he's just dodging normally into no tackle zones. So assuming that he actually dodges on a 2+, and that's because stunty. That's not actually true. Turns out I've been playing this game for far too many, well, for a long time, and haven't considered that actually it's a 3+. It's a standard 3+ reroll dodge. The stunty only gives +1 when he's moving into his own tackle zone. Not into his own, into anyone else's tackle zones on the other team. That's when he gets the +1. So yeah. Okay, so he's putting a Minotaur straight on the line. Okay, that should be interesting. He's putting lots of players on the line despite me electing to receive. Now while his build is very good, you shouldn't do this, because that's just giving me all the opportunity in the world to try and hit him. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that there. That there. That should give my opportunity for Mighty Blow, Claw, Blitzer to stand up here and have a go at this guy. And if he doesn't manage it that time, what we'll do is we'll push him with this guy. If that still doesn't work, we'll try pushing him off the edge with a final player. The rest of them can... what I'll do is I'll move these players here. So he's giving me quite an offering of players to use to hit him, which is strange. Oh right, I'll just use that player there and we'll try and push him off with goblins if we have to. And then we'll lay a... I'm not all too bothered about trying to wail on any of his Chaos Warriors because they have pretty tough armor and it's not going to happen. So yeah, game starts and let's see how he does. Yeah, as a general rule, do not just put loads of people on the front line when you're kicking. I've explained this multiple times and it instantly shows me that he's not maybe going to make just all the best moves in this game. He's also only got one reroll, and a Chaos team needs most of its players on the team. Okay, so the ball's going to land right at the back, so I'm just going to push this guy here. What I'll do actually is now I can do this. I can do that, that. That should probably cover it, to be honest. Right, that will offer me a chance to at least have a go at his Minotaur, which I would quite like to get rid of. Anyway, but first things first, let's go for this block tackle player, because my Mighty Blow Claw might just score me some nice injuries. It doesn't, but okay. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll make a push attack here. We're pushing this direction just in case the block doesn't succeed. The other goblin could take over. I now get an extra block if I want, so I will have a slight go at his Chaos Warrior. And so we'll go for that. Which doesn't really work. Or at least doesn't get the desired effect. But that's okay. Leave this guy here. we'll send Needle Blade. He's got a 1 in 9 chance of failing, but so does Hide Smell, and Hide Smell could at least injure this player. Potentially. So we're going to go for Hide Smell's going to roll block, and he doesn't fail me, which is nice. He doesn't actually do all that much either, but it's a start. Now I can get 1 die block. Here, 2 die blocks even. Always go for 2 die block. We won't do anything there with this player here, and though it's a bit risky to start off with, I'm gonna focus on trying to get rid of his Minotaur because it worries me a little bit. But first of all I want to pick up the ball, and Needle Blade does a good job of doing that. So I can move these guys forward and I don't have to worry too much. It breaks armor and nobody's sent off, so at least that's the Minotaur out for another round. If we can keep wailing on this Minotaur, maybe even Fink can get involved. I've left him out on the flank a little exposed though, so we'll see how he does. But his most dangerous player is the Minotaur, and I don't want him to hurt some of my players because I've got enough squidginess as it is in the goblins. And I use goblins quite aggressively. I use them to hold down players that don't have block. So for example here, he doesn't hit me because he needs a 6 to hit me essentially without suffering a turnover. So that's his one opportunity to blitz, and he's wasted it on a goblin. So that's quite nice to know. Might even be able to crowd surf this guy if we're lucky, but I don't think it's... well, no, it could happen. Okay, so he's getting into combat, which is logical. Chaos wants to hurt me, and that's really his best option too. He's moved a player here. Pretty expected, to be honest. Okay, first things first. Some 2 die blocks just to clear out. Now this guy's not going to be able to assist here, so I really need Hide Smell to get a good block, but I don't trust him. I'm going to bring this guy out to the flank just so he can threaten to push off Whaley Pelt. Doesn't do anything, but it does, apart from hitting him down, but it still counts as something. Now Needle Blade could come here and we could all try and bowl over this character, but I don't think it's going to happen. I don't really want to make a 1 die block either, so now it's less likely that Hide Smell is going to fail than, although we could bring this guy out. He could fail, of course, but so what we'll do is we'll take this player here, and then this player here. He doesn't fail, so there's a 1 in 9 chance he'd fail. And okay, so that's why you need the rerolls. And we'll push forward, and at least we could take this player off the ball at least. Oh, I should have put him... it doesn't really overly matter. And then I will make a block. Try and throw some tackle zones off me. He's going to be able to claw Mighty Blow with a blitz, so that has to be... that's slightly concerning. And I don't... and I'm going to try and focus on trying to take off his players here. Oh, dead. Good boy. Good boy. So we've just killed one of his not so significant, but significant enough players, and then that'll do actually. I'll move this guy back. Just 1. So this guy can't hit me if he somehow gets off me. But that's really good that I've actually scored a dead. So that's quite nice. Beating up Chaos, I think this team has a sub, but it's at least on the way, and I don't know if it was any useful. It wasn't a useful guy, but it just means if I do manage to score an injury, and I'm hoping I will. Wild Animal, he doesn't use... oh, always say good luck, have fun, I haven't. So I would have blitzed with the Minotaur just to keep the Minotaur going, to be honest, although he could be thinking about blitzing this direction just to try and clear up this guy from going off the edge, who it would be not nice. But no, he's not going to do that. He's going to try that and fails, and that's his one reroll gone. So, and it just amounts in a push, so that's really nice for me actually. But yeah, as Underworld, I tend to play quite underhanded tactics. Haha, pun. Mostly because then you can just foul, and fouling's always good fun. And you can see here the goblins are still doing well at being annoying. He has actually managed to waste... He's wasted 2 blocks on that, and he has broken armor, but nothing serious so far, thank God. Hide Smell will probably keep these guys occupied for a little bit. Long enough for me to maybe back off in a certain direction. But while I would quite like to activate Think in a different position, so if I could, I'd quite like to block using one of these two, which haven't been lined up very well. But we can move this guy in either side. So for example, move this guy here, and then Fit can deliver the crowd surfing below. We don't want him to follow. And that's a knockout. So see, this is where it's all sort of coming together, as it were. See, now I'll do this and move Hee-Hee-I, or whatever his name is, back up to here. And Vic can get there, and so we're going to hopefully chew through his team's armor, though it doesn't seem we're going to do it this turn at least. He could come in on a blitz there, so I'm actually going to move to... It doesn't really matter where, I'll just move him there. And then what I'll do is I'll move this player here, and this is what I mean on the 1+. Because of the whole 1+, when you're dodging in, it's still 1 in 9 when you're dodging into someone else's tackle zones, though it didn't work. I think it's 1 in 9. I'll check. Oh, it just rolled double 1, so we'll never know. Because if it rolls a critical, it just says critical. Okay, so he's chosen not to blitz again with the Minotaur, which seems really strange because the Minotaurs are really, although actually I have left this goblin nicely exposed, but that might be why. That wasn't very clever. But anyway, I've taken off 2 of his players off the pitch now, so I'm quite happy with the performance overall. Hide Smell has got strong armor, at least he's the only player really that does Fink and Fidgey, or whatever their names are. So yeah, oh no, he's not going to. That's really strange. I would have thought he'd go for that because it's an obvious hit. But this is what I'm making mistakes here, and he's not taking advantage of them, which is the main problem. And what he's done is he's left this player out here, and that means I'll be able to get a few assists in. Hopefully enough that I can then just, yeah, I should be able to just sort of make the 1-die block, 2-die even if I bring this player in. And I'm in no real rush to score, because if I can take off enough players, and Underworld can play a light bash game as it is anyway, so what we'll do is we'll bring in this player here, and then what we can do is we can blitz with these players to try and put Whaley Paley back on the back foot on the wrong side of the pitch, which would be nice. So we can make a block here, and this time it works, and it's a knockout, so Claw Mighty Blow paying off there. Or I could blitz with this player, which is a bit risky, but he usually does okay. He's been behaving recently at least. And it actually means I can sort of do this and unleash this guy and have a go at him. So I'm going to do that. He doesn't fail to dodge this time. We get a 2-die block, which succeeds. Could even have a go actually at blocking with a goblin, but I'm not going to. And then hopefully that'll get Hide Smell at least out of it won't get him entirely out of range of Orgrit or whatever his name is, because this is what goblins are supposed to be able to do when you read up on their actual thing, is that they can dodge through tackle zones easily enough. So I'm going to move him here to get in the way of Orgrit. And see, the stunty skill comes up, so I assumed it always added 1, but it doesn't actually. So don't listen to me. Now I'm nice number of players up. I'm 3 players up at this point, and I have better maneuver, and I think generally some better skills on here. Like Chaos don't come with really any core skills, whereas I have block on 1, 2, 3 players. Strength 5 player. He does manage to get the Minotaur up. Now if I could, I'd quite like to Finnick to have another go at him, but no promises it's going to work. He's doing a good job though. That Mighty Blow Claw really does come into play. I'd like to score with Fittage because then he'll level up. I lost my +1 agility goblin. And I lost my +1 movement goblin, one of which got eaten. It was the +1 movement that got eaten, annoyingly. Okay, so here he comes, and he's going to make a block. Now I gave foul appearance to the goblin, hoping that once in a while the foul appearance will take effect, but for the 2 games he's had it, it's not happened at all, annoyingly. And he rolls a red dice there, so that frees up some of my players to do some assisting elsewhere. So that's nice. I should consider moving up the field now. I've probably left it already a little too late. But oh, that wasn't very good of me. Put enough players there. I thought that would be assisting, but it is not. But oh well. What we'll try and do is we'll try and move up the right hand side, just because that's where my players are localized. Except I'm not going to push him there, so I guess I'll use Finnick to have a go at this Chaos Warrior. Doesn't exactly pay off, but it's alright. There's no way Hidesmell's going to be able to do that. So what we'll do is we'll move up a cage of sorts, leaving Hidesmell at the corner, bottom corner, if he makes it, which is by no means certain that he will. Can you... he can't get there. So what I'll do is I'll move this player here, and we'll just push up the cage this way. It's not a proper cage because actually... not going to be a proper cage because I'm only going to sort of set it up like this. But it'll do. That's the main thing. And hopefully if we can get Snenick to make a good block on this guy, which he doesn't make an amazing block, but it's not essential, then his foul appearance should affect here. So yeah, we're moving on the field. And Needleblade basically only needs to be a little bit further up. He has actually... see? Foul appearance has yet to appear on this guy. This is really... I thought I was being very clever by doing it, being new and inventive. Oh, wild animal. So he fails that on a 1, which is pretty bad. And that's good luck for me, because that guy can be dangerous. So he's pushing up. I'm going to have a go at this guy with Finnick, which will take a couple of assists, but I probably can manage it. Especially if Snenick gets up and these guys manage to push him away, but he might be able to cover. Either way, the Chaos defense is looking pretty strong out, as it were. Claw's nice. I hate to say it, but it's really cheap, but it's really nice. But it's nice for it to have it on a low armor value team, which gives the opportunity for low armor value teams to actually do something and fight back, as it were. Because that's where they sort of suffer a bit, is they don't have any ability to get back at the people that beat them up. But with teams like Skaven, now Underworld, you just have access to the skills that can really damage other bash teams, and bash teams really suffer if they get hurt. Okay, that doesn't get anything achieved, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave that player there. I'm going to move this player. I'm going to get this player up. I'm going to move this player around to Hidesmell, so... no, this one will go. So that Hidesmell can just get involved. he can come here. Should allow this player to move here. It's a bit risky, but at the same time I don't think he'd be able to capitalise too quickly on any of my mistakes if I made any. Which gives... ah, there you go. And I get a lucky armor break, so that's nice. And Finnick can move up one more. And then we can just secure the position by doing this. And luckily he makes it. And that should just stop anything managing to dodge in. So now Finnick can lead the charge. And these guys are all sort of stuck back here really. More marred down in a few goblins and such. Still, foul appearance. I count 3 or 4 blocks against him, and it hasn't worked. Yes! Foul appearance! Bang! Statistics. Okay, see that's where he is useful, in the fact that now he's tying down 2 players, and he's so struggling to get a block, or rather, he's failed to get 1 block. And that 1 block will make a big difference at key points. Imagine that with all the goblins, and suddenly we're looking at quite a good time. So, we're going to push up the cage as expected, and Finnick will continue on, because he's got the claw and the block, and he doesn't really achieve all that much, but he achieves enough. And we'll move him up there. Now, the question is where I want to put him, because I would like... okay, we'll put this guy here. Okay. Right, we'll move this player also to cover. Although that's leaving Hidesmell with no one to watch that he gets anywhere. What we'll do is move this guy up. Okay, we'll try it. He does make it, but I am slightly concerned by the fact that he could blitz out and hit me, so I need to be careful. I really need to think of something to do. Thing is, even if the ball goes loose, I should have the capacity to stop him. So I'm going to just go for the block. I know I've done this before, but I was worried that Hidesmell would fail me, but no, he's doing well this match. Right, we'll try and dodge this Underworld Goblin next to Fatigue, which means he'd have to go all the way round. Yeah, nice. He'd have to go all the way around to here to get an effective. And block, and then we'll go for the final killing blow on this player, who's his +1 agility player, and we'll just see if we can foul him. It's an armor break, but it's nothing too big. Other than that, I'll just... yeah, that's fine. If this guy wants to waste time. Oh, he does make the dodge, but he has to come in as a 1-die block, and he fails on the block. So, Footage pays for his wares, as it were. Now, there's not really anything else I want to do, so let's just score. And at least that gets us a blitzer who's leveled up. Well done. He's done well. He's killed a beastman and scored all in 1/2. So very nice and enjoyable to him. So far very happy. He's down, sadly, no players going into this, but because his knocked out's got up. But otherwise a strong half, and I haven't lost any players on my own actually, which I've been lucky because I've done quite a bit of fouling. We'll just move some of our rubbish players on so they can be at the front of the line of ouchie pain. You get my meaning. The blitzers are quite important to keep alive, so I wouldn't suggest exposing them unnecessarily, so and I'll change Snenick in for a normal. And though the linemen aren't all that useful, it is worth keeping them alive because they are one of the few bits of strength access, well, not strength access, but Strength 3 is invaluable on this team because so much of it is Strength 2. I know you can have technically 6 Strength 3 players, but it still doesn't make it all that. I don't believe in paying the excess on the thrower, which isn't overly useful. Otherwise, it's just kicking a defense next. I have to say, Chaos Edition has made me... usually I like to play the quick goals, but with Chaos Edition, the bash is a little bit more on certain teams, for example Chaos Dwarves and Underworld. So sometimes it is worth more... Oh, he's managed to hit a Goblin with the Minotaur, but the Minotaur does nothing. But what I'm saying is it's sometimes worth... Oh, I got an extra reroll unnecessarily. Shame. Or rather, not shame, but it's just shame it came now. Yeah, it's not... It's sometimes worth taking your time as you go upfield just to keep bashing. Especially with, goddamn, all these bash teams, it's enjoyable to hurt them. I don't pity a Chaos team that loses a couple of players at all. Like, who cares, you lost a few players. That's your entire tactic. This team's not actually built like that, but a lot of them are. But if I got a +1 agility though, that would be nice. He does make a successful pass here, so he's at least managed to get some SP onto Whaley Pelt, so that's 1 at 6, and he hasn't bothered to make an extra block on this Goblin for some reason. I mean, you would have at least thought go for it just in case you get the SPP, but otherwise we'll go with the same setup. I like to keep the troll a little bit back. I probably should have pushed the formation a little bit more forward than this, but in a way I like to stretch out the front line and the back line to let my... For example, if his front pushes too far and his back is sent too far back, there's going to be a bigger gap, then there's going to be less support if he is spent going all that way back, or however the ball is landed right here. I do get an extra reroll though, so that's nice. Here comes the Minotaur, which has got quite a lot of blocks on him, and fails to hit it. So the Minotaur fails to hit an Underworld Goblin, which is pretty poor, and should mean that I get a chance to hit it back, and hopefully with Finnick do some damage. I really want Hidesmell to get a injury on something, because my god, he's 2 away, and he's just been sat there for about 4 games now. Hopefully what that means is he's saving it up for a block. Now, I wouldn't expect him to waste a reroll on this, but he does. It's not all that essential at the moment. He had no need to waste a reroll. I wasn't going to be able to immediately grab it. When he's only got 1, it seems like a poor waste. It means he's going to be very vulnerable to any sort of poor block dice or just bad luck for the rest of the game. That's why you need multiple rerolls. Otherwise, it's quite a nice team, to be honest. I can see why he built it this way. It's good. Maybe he just needs a little bit more experience playing it. He does pass the foul appearance and actually not hurts, but hits Sinenic. And it's going to take a lot of assists for this guy. Okay, first of all, we'll do this. This is going to take a lot of block dice. Assisting. But I feel like letting him have a go because I'm so desperate to get rid of that. And it doesn't even work. Alright. Well, when something doesn't work, don't overly push it, I suppose. Is what I'm trying to say. However, I could let Hidesmell take over. You know what? Hidesmell, I will trust you with this. Do not fail me. But first I'm going to move these guys into position here just to cover that side. And we're going to trust Hidesmell with the block. Whether he'll be able to take down a Minotaur, don't know, but he does hit. And he did pretty good. Granted, to the troll, he did a pretty good job. And he has tackle here, so I'm not expecting this guy to get up and move too far, but it's probably worth trying anyway. Just because he's not doing anything, not achieving anything for me there. It's a 3+, followed by a 3+ reroll. And he makes it, so good work to him. And a nice one where we managed to knock off this Minotaur for another turn. That Minotaur's having a hard time. If he thinks he's going to be able to make a pass this way, I doubt it. I've got these guys at the back covering, and while these guys are on the other side, as you'll see, they are pretty much able to reach that side. Both of these have long movement, or rather relatively long, so I shouldn't have too much trouble getting to the other side. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. He's wasted a reroll, his only reroll, so that's nice to know, and I'm enjoying Underworld, albeit if sometimes they feel a bit squishy, which they're supposed to be, but I'm sure once you get, like, I've heard some people say, take 2 heads, horns, so he'd be dodging into a single tackle zone on a 2+, because the stunty will then take effect, and 2 heads adds +1 to your roll. Take horns, and then finally take strip ball and wrestle on a goblin, and he makes a good cage breaker. Now I'm not entirely sure how that is going to work, because I still don't trust a strength 2 character, even strength 3, really to do much cage breaking, because he could be jumping into a cage filled with guard. If he came up against a dwarf cage, he certainly would be. But at the same time, it's an interesting idea, and one I'm willing to sort of explore a bit, so I'll maybe build a goblin like that. But at the moment, I think I'm going to give Mighty Blow, Claw, Tackle, Horns, the Skaven Blitzers, and dodge on a double. He's managed to knock this guy out, which is annoying, which means I'm going to have to leave it to Fijuj to get this. He's going to have to run, do some blocking. First of all, we'll do this block. And he manages it alright. Now, question is how many... He's being assisted from that side, so even bringing 2 blocks from here is not going to overly help me. Bring in the block from here. This guy can now make a 2-dot block, and he has blocks, so at least that's something. And it does me proud. Finnock should be able to follow up. And it's a strong hit, but it's not strong enough to break armor, and we'll go for an extra foul when possible. Does absolutely nothing, but it doesn't get me sent off again, which is quite lucky. I'm not going to bother to use Hide Smell this turn, because he's doing an okay job distracting the Chaos Warrior. It's not really a good payoff, but at the same time he could just roll really stupid because I've left him unattended. I think next time I get the chance I will try and drag him into the fight where he's needed, because if he can get in behind here, then he's going to be doing a pretty good job. So he makes his 1 block there, he'll be able to get in 1 assist and then make a block here. Nothing too difficult. And yeah, it's looking good. Maybe got too many players here. He has managed to get this Minotaur up, which is a bit worrying because he's right next to Fittage, so I might just dodge Fittage out if possible. But I'm pretty sure I could get the ball. In fact, here's an interesting thought. Okay, so he hasn't managed that, so he's going to unleash one of these players out. And he only used a 1-die block, which is a bit risky. So maybe with this player here, roll up that side. You'll see what I mean. So first of all, we'll block with this guy. And that's successful. Now this is the question, how do I want to do this? we know I like. Now if we put this player here, we can make a 2-die block here, which is successful. If we push up this player into this part, then we can make a 2-die block here. Okay, that's not great, but it'll do what I want, which is to unleash, to get this guy out already, which means all he has to do all he has to do is get a block here. So that's not going to push anyone off the edge. New. If we do this, we don't have to make a go for it, and hopefully we can then push someone off the edge. Oh no, okay, I didn't think that one through. So, but we're prepped to push someone off the edge if need be. Otherwise, I'm going to dodge out this player to cover, and he makes it, luckily. And we'll dodge out this player to eat up. Okay, so I got lucky there as well, and we'll get Hidesmell to make a block, hopefully. Okay, we won't change anything. They both go down. Not in my mind worth wasting a block dice, a reroll on. So yeah, he's nicely up against the side, but he does have the strength to push out. It's just these goblins are going to be tough to move, really, because they've got dodge. Like that. So, if possible, he'll be able to make a block here, or he might be able to block this guy and blitz out. But he's really nicely up against the edge, so we'll see how this goes. He could just dodge out and make a run for it, but he's not. Okay, so he's done this, and he's only managed to push. Now I should be able to close the gap with Finnick, if he doesn't get punched out, which he does. But at least yeah, he's not followed up, which means Finnick is going to be available to catch up with this guy, even if need be. In fact, he's got yeah, they got the same range, even from getting up. So that's one of the nice things about Skaven Blitzers, is they are fast. And here he goes on the run, but I don't think he's going to achieve anything. He does make a pass, but in response to that, interesting move, and quite good. So he's frenzying away with this player. He does manage to hit me and injure. It's only badly hurt, and it's too late on in the game to really decide how far. I do need to get the ball off him, and suddenly I'm feeling Fittage can make the block, so at least that's something that I can rely on. And they've gathered all around him, so it's almost worth sending a goblin around to do that. But Fittage can make a block, 2-die block. Succeeds, not overly succeeds, but he does well. Now, a failed dodge would cost me, but a re-rolled 1 in 6 could save my arse a little bit here, so... It's a 1 in 9 when re-rolled, whereas it's a 1 in 36 when rolled with this. So I'm going to go with this. Finnick can hopefully punch one of these players down to the ground for a little while. And knockout is by far a good result by all standards. Now we have to rely on some goblins making it out. Ooh, he was from tackle. Probably not the best idea. And I could have made a 2-die block with this guy. That was a bit stupid. I'll make a block because... okay. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I'm feeling risky and I want to get as many... I would have liked to get multiple players out, but... So they're nicely surrounding him. And this guy, he's not going to get up, fine. I don't think he's going to have an amazing range to stop me here, but just in case, I'm going to keep dodging these goblins out and putting them in really nuisance positions, for example here, except that doesn't make it. Alright, well I made a lot of dodges, and his ball carrier is at least significantly prevented from doing anything. Now, he has to be careful, because if he blocks this guy, he could see himself pushing his own player. Although that's not going to happen, because he would select to push off a goblin, or move someone around a bit. But that's not going to save him either. And suddenly it looks like Finnick might have his chance to put this ball out of play, which would be nice. He makes a dodge with his Chaos Warriors, so he must be getting a little bit risky. Now, what he could have decided, maybe, possibly, is trying to go for a risky hit with the Minotaur. And I'm kind of worried, because if his Minotaur does go for anything, we're all up against the side, and with Frenzy, he does hold the advantage there. But he's fouled with the Minotaur and got it sent off, so I'm not entirely sure what that was for. Anyway, we'll do what we were supposed to do, and I'm going to have to block Finnick, just in case the goblins failed me. The ball goes out of play, and now this is where I'm going to hope that maybe my thrower can get involved, if he's still up. Yep. The crowd are pretty shite at throwing it back in, apparently. But yeah, okay, it lands right next to my thrower, so that's a brilliant result. So yeah, sorry. What we'll do is we'll move this player here to give this guy a chance to block this guy off. Okay, well it doesn't overly change too much, but I just have to decide what I'm doing here. See, I can make a dodge there, or I can make a dodge here. I'm going to make that dodge, hoping he doesn't fail, and he doesn't. Now I can do this and try and push him onto the ball, which doesn't work. I wasn't expecting him to catch it, but it is slightly annoying. None of them caught it, and he's going to have a hard time getting the ball off him, for now at least. We move this player here, which should allow me to... No, we'll move him here. Then we'll try and use this one to get round here, which is risky, but because of the stunty rule he should be okay. Then get Fittage to try and make a block, which he manages, so he brings him down, and we'll see how that goes. Oh dear. And I'm in no real rush to pick up the ball, and with 3 players around it, that's okay. I'm going to waste a reroll to see if I can get him up. No, because I'm only going to have... I've got 4 rerolls. I'm only going to have about 3 turns to use him in now. Rather, I've got 3 more turns and 3 more rerolls. So even if I, as a last action, I might as well have re-rolled it. Even if it's wasting it, it's not. Well, it's not wasting it because it would get wasted anyway. I can only use 1 per turn. Yeah, none of my blitzers are in ideal positions to do anything. He can now either push me, but he blocks, which is sensible. Finnick should be able to hit him. As I said, it's a 1 in 6 reroll, so I'm sort of relying. It's essentially a 2-die block, but if it works, it works. Okay, maybe then now. I should probably regret not getting my troll more involved in this, but I just don't trust him ever, so... Now he's going to jump in and he's... I don't have... See, he's just going to be useless, so... Why bother? I'll make a couple of rolls to see if I can't manage to block away this guy. This is where Big Hand would be really useful. Nothing's overly achieved there, but make another roll because we still have rerolls, so I can sort of risk the one die blocks, and I might have to because when it comes to strength, I don't have any. You can then make a block here. Sorry, that was my doorbell, and he... Okay, sorry. Someone else was actually in the house. I didn't think they were, but anyway. Then what I'll do is I'll move this player out on a blitz movement to here, which means he can still come back and go there. And then I can... I'm going to go for the reroll wasted. It's a 2/3 chance. Oh, he makes it. Nice work. Let's see if we can send the goblin upfield. He might be able to do it with Stunty. So that was a 4+, and now I'll start throwing some rerolls at the running. So he makes it. Okay, well it was a risk, but at the same time, my main plan was really that if he failed it, now he should have blocked with this guy, because he would have had the opportunity. But he didn't, so... Now I don't know if I can reach... No, I could probably reach that. La 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 la. Just keep moving all the players into positions. I want to get Needle Blade to make the pass because he's the most reliable passer. I suppose I could potentially do it with this. Okay, so we managed to bring this guy down. Then if we bring this guy down using this player, I'd rather level up a lineman, to be honest. Now, I'm pretty sure he'd be able to make that, but we're going to go for one extra because he's going to have to use them at some point. And he does make it. Okay, so now it's just a matter of moving this player here. And... hold on, let me just answer something. Right. And then pick up the ball, run it up, and make the pass. And it's perfect. And nothing else to complain about. I will just make a block. So the troll is going to go again without having achieved really anything all game, but at least he tried. I might try and get him up just no, he's not going to break armor, so I'll just leave him all asleep. That is what trolls are. They are essentially sleepy people. And so at least we get a lineman up and a blitzer up a level. So that ends the game for Underworld. Nice 2-0 win against Chaos. Team was used some... the only thing I can say, my opponent would have had a much easier time if he hadn't been using 0 rerolls. He could have... sorry, 1 reroll. If he had some spare, then it would have really complemented his team, and yes, it could have increased his team value, but it's really worth it just to ward against luck. Otherwise, it was a good game to my opponent. I'm enjoying not having to fight all these bash teams at high level. I roll a 6, and that's another win for the Underworld, who are doing quite well, although dragging in quite a few draws. Skaven Blitzer levels up, so we'll give him, unless he rolls a double, which he doesn't. I'm just going to build him like the other one and go for Mighty Blow. they'll both get tackle in the end. The Skaven lineman doesn't get a double either, so we'll just give him wrestle. So let's just have a quick look. I think the other Skaven lineman is still waiting to get any SPP at all after dying. All that effort wasted in the last match you saw me play. Underworld Goblin with foul appearance is achieving next to nothing, and the Troll is being useless. But apart from that, I'm really enjoying this team. So here's a picture of them in 3D. Oh, they're so cute. Okay, so that's them. Right, hope you enjoy, guys, and with that lovely sight in your minds, stay safe.